Hey, YouTube, Zabuza here, helping you kick off the new year. Alright, so, for this new year, I thought we'd start off with a brand new team. This is my hyper-competitive Little Cup team. I originally never planned to show it on my channel, but I figure, you know what, new year, new team, I want to share it with you guys. So, my opponent was a little rude. I was testing my team a lot on the Pokemon Showdown Simulator, and I warned him, hey, you know what, this is a really good team. If you don't think you're up to the challenge, then tell me now, I'll switch to a different team. And he's like, well, whatever. And I'm like, you sure? And he's like, you know what, are we gonna talk, or are we gonna battle? So I'm like, yep, alright, fine, whatever. So let's just see how that worked out for him. So my opponent is Phanton. We met on the Small Gun Wi-Fi-Battle Finder. I'm going to send out my Rowdy, my Mienfoo, as he sends out his Chinchou. He's going to pull back first turn and go into his Ghastly, as I'm going to go for a knockoff predicting this, and even if he didn't, I figured it'd be a good choice in case it was Eviolite. Now here he goes for Hypnosis, and I'm thinking, okay, not sure why a Ghastly would have Hypnosis, but I guess I can't really complain there. He goes into a Doduo, and I get a first turn Wake Up. I go for the U-turn because, well, that was really the safest option at the time, considering I was asleep. As I switch into my Wicked Witch of the West, and he goes for Toxic, which is really interesting. As I kind of predict this, but not really, I just wanted to get my substitute up. Then I go for Brave Bird. I get a critical hit here, but it didn't matter, considering that critical is double the damage, and if it was able to take out his full bar, it would have done at least half, and I could have knocked him out with a Sucker Punch. Anyway, he switches into a Slowpoke, and tries and breaks my sub with a Scald as I go for Sucker Punch. And I'm just kind of thinking, okay, I know this guy is going to want to Toxic me or Thunder Wave me at some point. So here I take this opportunity to go for Roost, because I know he's going to go for Slack Off. I go for a Substitute, he goes for a Scald to break my sub again. And here I'm thinking, okay, I'm pretty sure he's going to go for Toxic. So I go for my Substitute, and I'm right. And that's exactly what Slowpokes do. They Toxic, Thunder Wave, they will get you statused. So he breaks my sub with a Scald, and I'm going to go for a Brave Bird on this next turn just because I see that thanks to main max damage is going to be just enough to knock him out. So he switches into his own Mienfoo, and I have no idea what to expect from this set, so I go for a Substitute knowing that I could take a Fake Out. If it's Fake Out, I know it's not Scarfed, but this doesn't tell me anything. It could be Scarfed still. So I just take a chance, go for the Brave Bird, and I manage to knock it out. So ding dong, the witch is dead. I send in my Rowdy, and he sends in his Lileep. And here, I'm expecting him to switch out into his Phanty, and even if not, I know that U-turn would have been the best option, considering it would have been a super effective hit. So, gonna switch out into my Manicurist, my Drillbur, and because no one will expect a Scarf Drillbur, and I knocked off his Scarf before, I can go for the Shadow Claw without worries. He switches into his Doduo, and I know the perfect counter to this, my Bronzor, as he goes for a Brave Bird, and that's not gonna do jack to me. And I'm going to go for, he's going to switch out to his Lileep as I go for my Flash Cannon, just trying to get some damage off on it. And thankfully it's a super effective hit, otherwise it wouldn't do anything because Lileeps are special defensive walls. He goes for a Hidden Power, must be Hidden Power Fire, as I go for a Toxic, and I kind of want Bronzor to faint at this point because if it does faint, I can switch out into something else. So I'm just going to keep going for these Flash Cannons as he sets up his rocks, he goes for Recover. I'm actually going to get a crit here, which is going to shorten this battle a little, but I don't really think it mattered in the long run, considering it just shortened it by maybe 1 or 2 turns. So he sends out his Doduo, and here he's just going to run.